Bitcoin history is exactly being repeated now. We have always seen a previous high being retested with a bullish retest and then headed even higher. And at this moment, Bitcoin is exactly retesting that previous high from the beginning of this year. So we will need to talk about that exactly. While everybody has been flipping fearful again, while everybody is selling off and liquidity is piling up on that top side, this is the interesting part, and this will be the time to pay attention. So need to talk about that, need to talk about Ethereum, need to talk about the altcoins and many more things in today's update video. So as always, let's get started with a shorter time frame. And in a shorter time frame, Bitcoin has indeed been pushing back to the downside, has been breaking to the downside of this range. At this moment, we are trading inside of a weekend. We try to push a little bit to the upside, but as we all already know, during the course of the weekend, volatility tends to be lowered. So yeah, we are seeing very low volatility during this weekend, and usually we just tend to consolidate sideways while we are trading at a very interesting period, because we have been breaking to the downside and potentially can have a look into a very interesting breakdown target all the way back down to the 100k level. We have been perfectly retesting that previous support into resistance right over here. So at the first sight, this is looking very dangerous. Definitely, especially if you combine this fact, this breakdown, with the fact that we're headed for a bearish month of September in a post-halving year. Like you can see for Ethereum in a post-halving year, 2021 minus 12%, 2017 minus 21%. This is in a bull market, in a post-halving year, and still September is generally a bearish month. So because of this, a lot of people are getting worried and a lot of people are getting fearful, which we can definitely see on the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index right now. Yesterday, we flipped back to the fearful zone. But if we're going to be zooming out and if we're going to be having a look into what is actually happening in the charts now, well, we are just retesting these previous highs that we have been creating at the beginning of this year into support at this moment. And this is a thing which Bitcoin has always been doing before. Bitcoin has been creating this high, for example, in the beginning of 2024. During the ETF launch, we have been getting a rejection to the downside, been pushing back to the upside, been creating another high. But after that new high in around May, we have seen a rejection back to that previous high that we have created in January of 2024 during the ETF launch. And after that bullish retest, we have been going to the upside again, been creating another high that we've created in the beginning of this year, 2025. After that new high, been getting another rejection, and we have been retesting that previous high from May 2024 right over here. And after that bullish retest, we've been headed further to the upside again, been creating a new high right over here. And right now we are retesting these previous highs from the beginning of the year. Like you can see in this screenshot over here, we are perfectly retesting this previous resistance, tested it over here as resistance, right now turning into support. We're trying to be holding above it while we are forming a bullish biased pattern. Now, I will be telling you exactly how I'm going to be trading this and how I'm going to be approaching this, because this will be extremely important. But in the midst of all of the fear, well, we can just have a look into these charts here, and these charts are indicating us that we shouldn't be that fearful. While everybody is fearful, well, we should actually be buying during this dip that we are seeing now. Yes, we may have a potential downside price target still sitting down below us. So that is why it will be very important to watch further to how I'm going to be trading this. But we shouldn't be ignoring these signals that we are just retesting a previous massive level of resistance into support at this moment, while everybody is flipping fearful, while we are creating a bullish divergence again, just like we have done in 2024, just like we have done in 2023, right before headed further to the upside. And on top of that, we are having a CME gap sitting above us And on top of that, we are having the global liquidity indicator still moving to the upside. So the general direction in the market, in my opinion, is still to the upside. And this is just going to be another higher low before continuing to follow that global liquidity even further to the upside. On top of that, all of the liquidity is sitting at the top side at around the 120k region, which is definitely still quite a significant of a price movement to the upside, back to the upside. On top of that, funding rates are trading low. This is confluencing very well with the crypto fear and greed index, which is sitting at levels of fear because majority of the market is trading short for Bitcoin and especially on altcoins. More on the altcoins a little bit later, but the very important part is going to be how am I going to be trading this? How am I going to be approaching this? Well, a very detailed game plan is going to be outlined in my Platinum group, which is absolutely free to join with the first link down below. So make sure to join that one right now. Anyways, I am definitely going to be more interested in trading Ethereum myself. However, it will be very important to do have a look into Bitcoin because Bitcoin will just be the deciding factor right now. Now, how I am going to be approaching this is that we have already been seeing a successful retest to the downside. So this is looking generally a bit more bearish. So I want to be getting a bit more cautious and conservative. Now, at the same time, I do think the probabilities will be higher for this bullish retest and just a continuation to the upside. So I do think it's going to be more likely that we're going to be following that global liquidity and we're just going to be creating another higher low now and that we're going to be bouncing to the upside. However, we are not getting any confirmations in the market yet. That is why if you're going to be getting interested in trading this bounce and this bullish retest right over here, I would be waiting for a breakout from this falling wedge pattern, a breakout to the upside. That would be your confirmation that we're going to be headed even higher. And that will be your confirmation that we're going to be seeing this bullish bounce and that we've been seeing a successful bullish retest right over here. So very important to understand that one. Yes, I'm getting a bit more cautious on Bitcoin, but I do still think the probabilities are way higher that we will go further to the upside. However, right now, we are not getting our confirmations in yet. So if you do want to be trading this, I would be waiting a little bit longer to be getting your confirmations in the market and then enter the market. However, like I've explained, I myself am not going to be trading Bitcoin. I'm going to be trading more Ethereum, like you can be seeing over here, because I'm heavily in altcoins. I'm heavily in Ethereum now because of the money rotation that is starting to happen. More about that exactly a little bit later, but definitely ETH-BTC is looking very strong. The Ethereum chart is shaping up very nicely. We are just seeing a consolidation right over here in my personal opinion. From this breakout we have been having from the 4K level right over here, ranging in between these two levels and also the previous all-time high level of resistance. Basically ranging in between these levels right over here, and it's going to be a consolidation which inevitably I think will be broken out to the upside. So it is just going to be a waiting game right over here. Just going to be a waiting game until we're going to be breaking above that previous all-time high level of resistance. And then I think Ethereum is going to be headed much more to the upside. Definitely, I want to be entering my positions now already. Like you can be seeing right over here, I have my position already open at the 4K level. And I am interested in adding even more at the 4K level. Now, I do think that we are going to be reaching that 4K level just in case if we're going to be seeing this breakdown and if Bitcoin is going to be reaching the 100K level, I think in that case, Ethereum can be going down back down to the 4K level. Now, if Bitcoin is not going to be retracing all the way over here and it's going to be breaking out to the upside, there will be a very good chance that Ethereum is already bottomed out over here after this trend line breakout that we have been seeing right now. So keep that one in mind. That is why I already want to be involved in the market. Just for the opportunity cost, I already want to be entered in the market now because the opportunity cost otherwise would be too big. It is just going to be a waiting game right now until this consolidation will break out to the upside. And then I think Ethereum will explode much further to the upside. After this V-shaped recovery we have been seeing, ETH-BTC is getting back above this level of support. And I think the next level of resistance is going to be coming in right over here. The trend for ETH-BTC is very bullish, cannot be ignored. In the shorter time frame, ETH has been seeing a beautiful falling wedge pattern right over here, which is right now being broken out to the upside. So this is looking beautiful. ETH is looking good in a shorter time frame and also in a longer time frame. Like we've been talking about, I've been buying at the exact bottom, and like I've been talking about, I think we are going to be seeing this massive pivot into Ethereum, and ETH is going to be seeing this big markup phase, which we are currently in, and I do not think is about to stop anytime soon. Large investors are still buying Ethereum while retail is selling off. The inflows into accumulation addresses is mind-blowing still at this moment, and on top of that, Ethereum is setting up the same exact way like Bitcoin has been doing in 2020 during the last bull market, where it just exploded to the upside when it finally did decide of breaking that consolidation out to the upside. So this is a very interesting fact. I will be saying again that if Ethereum is going to be breaking outside of this consolidation, it will explode. So you better prepare yourself right now already. And with that link down below, you can claim a free 10k Ethereum trade if you deposit 10k USDT. Whatever you're going to be depositing, Weeks is going to be matching that. So if you deposit 5k, you're going to be getting a free 5k Ethereum trade. If you deposit 1k, free 1k trade. So make sure to check that one out with this link down below. This link is also including a 30k deposit bonus and also 25% trading fee discounts. So make sure to be checking that one out, because this trading fee discount is making Weeks the cheapest trading exchange to be trading at. So make sure to check that one out. Only with this link down below, this bonus is going to be available. Now, anyways, I do think Bitcoin is entering that beginning of the end phase where Bitcoin is almost about to top out. I think we should be getting very cautious for Bitcoin right over here, because definitely we are reaching top territory in my opinion. Just like, for example, right over here, we've been reaching top territory, or just like right over here, we have been reaching top territory. Now, I do not think we have topped out yet. I do still think we have got some higher to go. However, we are getting dangerously close in my personal opinion for that top. I'm just going to be keeping it honest, and I will be telling you when I do think the top is going to be in. But during this beginning of the end phase, I do think the altcoins will still explode, with Bitcoin dominance falling heavily back to the downside. With getting this dead cross and also getting this massive breakdown in the shorter time frames, definitely altcoins are showing a lot more strength, and the Bitcoin dominance is continuing to fall exactly like predicted. So this is looking extremely good. Bitcoin dominance is going to be falling much further to the downside in my personal opinion, and there's still a big trade to be made over here. Now, very interesting, having a look into this chart. Well, first, we have, during the last cycle, we have seen Ethereum outperforming all of the altcoins. So this is basically phase 2, where money is rotating from Bitcoin in Ethereum. And after that money rotation into Ethereum, once the others versus Ethereum has been getting oversold, like we're seeing now, well, then after that stage, the money will be rotating from Ethereum into large caps, and then after that, we're going to be seeing the full blown on altcoin season. So right now, we are entering that phase, in my opinion, where we're going to be seeing the money rotation from phase 2 into phase 3. So from Ethereum into large caps. So that is exactly where I've been preparing for right over here. Like you can see, my Solana trade also 119k in a profit. My ENA trade 150k in a profit. Cardano also 44k. Sui in a minor loss right now. It is actually down minus 50%. So you can get a way better entry in at this current moment. BNB also plus 20k, Aave small 5k. But yeah, I'm definitely preparing for this next phase that we are about to enter, in my personal opinion. Total 3 is about to break out fairly soon. We're just seeing this catch-up move. I do not want to say that Ethereum isn't gonna see any gains, because I do still think Ethereum will see massive gains in this phase, but it's just going to be the part of the cycle where altcoins and the large caps are also going to be following, and the total 3 is also going to be breaking out above this massive level of resistance, the 1.1 trillion US dollar level. We are seeing a lot of strength in towards this level of resistance now. This is looking extremely good, and I think the total 3 will go to 3 trillion US dollars. Now, anyways, for the longer time frame, I just want to be keeping note of this one, because This is the whole point of Bitcoin. So in the long term, keep this in mind, because in the long term, there is no better asset than Bitcoin. This is why we are in Bitcoin. Never forget that, because a dollar's worth with 100 years inflation, look at this screenshot over here. Okay, in 1918, a dollar's worth was basically 25 US dollars. And right now, that same dollar's worth is right, or well, back then 25 US dollars is now worth $1. So if you were holding your dollar for 100 years, literally your purchasing power would have been diminished by 25 times. That is insane, and that is why Bitcoin will always thrive in the long term. So keep that one in mind. Bitcoin in the long term is the greatest asset out there. I'm just trading it right now to be making more money and to accumulate more Bitcoin. That is the whole point of trading Bitcoin here, of trading altcoins here. The whole point is trying to accumulate more Bitcoin. That is the end goal. Keep that one in mind. Never forget that, because Bitcoin, in my opinion, is the greatest asset. Anyways, guys, with that being said, make sure to check out all of the links down below. Weeks is the current best trading exchange out there, so make sure to be trading over on Weeks. There's going to be some huge things coming with Weeks, so make sure to sign up right now. And on top of that, join my Platinum group, where you'll be notified about my exact strategy in real time. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in another update video tomorrow morning.